This conversation was recorded on the lands of the Jagera, Yugara and Ogurapal peoples. You're listening to Held, a series of slow, honest conversations with women about the things that shape us, the stories we carry, and what it means to be seen, heard and held. Alright, ready?
Ready.
Oh, good morning, Amie, and welcome to Held.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to have a conversation with you today, Amanda.
Who are you?
I'm Amie.
And who's Amie?
Oh, starting deep, are we?
Yes.
Already?
Yes.
Who's Amie? Well, Amie is going through a bit of a transformation at the moment, actually. So Amie is what society tells us we are as a woman. I'm a mum, I'm a partner, I'm a CEO, I'm a member of community, but more deeper than that, I'm going through a bit of a journey around the other parts of me and who I am. The parts of me that are wild and fun and creative and reconnecting with my eros at the moment. So, yeah, maybe one day I could say I'm also a goddess.
So tell me, when do you feel most like yourself?
Probably when I'm in the garden. Yeah. Although I think there are lots of times that I feel like myself. When I'm in the garden, when I'm painting, when I'm talking to beautiful women in my work, and also when I'm with my partner or my friends, bushwalking, or sometimes even when I'm doing emails, I still feel like myself.
That's interesting. So do you feel like your whole self in all of these different experiences? Or do you feel like you're sharing parts of yourself? Like different parts of yourself? Does that make sense?
It does. I'm always my core self and walking in alignment with who that person is and that being is, no matter what I'm doing. And that's been a real journey for me to be able to really authentically do that and to be me and to proudly be me in all those parts. But there are times that you will hold back because it's not the right space or time. A beautiful woman told me recently something that just resonates a lot, where she said, Amie, it's really important to know when to give your power and not to give your power.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
How do you tell?
I think your instinct tells you when it's the right time. And it's also your intention in the moment.
I'm floored today by how centered and grounded you are. How have you come to be?
You're very deep, Amanda.
I know.
I love that. So I'm equally floored by the depth of your question. So, how have I come to be? That's an amazing question, in the sense that I believe you're always coming, you're always becoming, and you're always being and practicing it. And that's for me a part of the meaning of life and our purpose. So how have I come to be in this moment? And the groundedness I'm feeling now has been my journey up until now, which has been, wow, trying to be the perfect young woman, trying to be the high achieving professional, trying to make all of the people around me happy, not only the ones that mean a lot to me, but I realised I was trying to make people happy who didn't mean a lot to me. Sometimes I was trying to make people happy who actually I knew didn't even align with my values, but society was telling me that's what you do to be a good woman.
Yeah.
And so I've recently had a 3-month sabbatical, which has been very helpful in my reflections around just who I am and my being, and really reconnecting and coming home to myself. And I think that's really helped, that sense of removing some of the external stimuli. You know, I blacked out off social media for a few months and really spent that time reconnecting with me and my spirit. And that's helped me to remember who I am. And so I think the journey of how I've come to be me has been, I pretzeled myself.
You pretzeled yourself.
I pretzeled myself. And I think a lot of women do that. Not just women, men as well, and all people. But speaking as a cis woman, my experience as a cis woman, I pretzeled myself into the many archetypes of a woman and that were expected of me. And now I am practicing my flexibility still, but I'm no longer pretzeling myself into the shapes I'm not and I don't want to become. And so that's what I'm working on at the moment.
Wow. It's so visual. I've never heard somebody say they pretzeled themselves before. It's gold. So, how has your self-care changed? What does self-care look like for you today?
Self-care starts for me with being my own best friend. So I think I've always grown up with that value for myself, and I've learnt that I am always going to be my own best friend, and I'm always going to be with me. The only person who I'm ever always going to be connected with 24/7 is myself, so I better fucking love myself.
Yeah.
That's been so important to my self-care. I do a lot of self-care practices as well, and I work in a field where that's really important. So obviously for me, I've gone through a process of trying things and experimenting and listening to the latest, best practice around self-care and giving it a go and then going, actually, nah, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Done a lot of that, and coming back to that basic of being my own best friend and asking myself as my best friend, hey Amy, what do you need right now? Or, gee, that didn't work out so well, but that's okay. That's the first central component for me for self-care.
What do people often misunderstand about you?
I think that there's expectations in society of women when they're successful professionals that don't necessarily align with being our feminine embodied selves. So for me, I often feel misunderstood. There are times where, as a woman, I am passionate and I need to be fierce. And I'm doing that from a feminine space, not a masculine space for me as a cis woman. And sometimes I feel misunderstood. Sometimes I feel as a leader that I am not taken as seriously being a cis woman, or that what I do in my work is not as important or effective or valuable, because I don't work in spaces that society celebrates. And so I find that I feel misunderstood. And I go to another layer to say sometimes I'm misunderstood on purpose. Sometimes it's because, if I was allowed to be understood, then that would change power dynamic.
What's something you've come to understand about being a woman that you didn't know when you were younger?
We are fucking powerful.
Yep. What does being a woman mean to you today? And has that changed over time?
Definitely, yeah. I remember becoming a mum, and I was quite young when I became a mum in our day and time. And so when I became a mum, I thought I was going to be this earth goddess mother. And I was going to be at home and breastfeeding my children, and, you know, I'd be so happy, and it would make me the woman that I would be. And I had to do a bit of unlearning through that process, and a bit of humbling as well. And that was a gift. And for me, actually, what I found becoming a mum was that I deeply grieved the loss of myself as a professional. And that society didn't see me, and I felt unseen. And I think that as a woman, that can be really hard, becoming a mum, because often what I felt I was getting from those channels back to me as a new mum was, you're not good enough. You're not able to meet society's expectations of motherhood. You're not perfect enough in whatever these unattainable goals are of motherhood that are being set to you, whether that's the clean eating for your children in the school lunch boxes, or the BPA-free plastics, the perfect school uniform, or the better school, or if it's the making sure your children never have nits, which if anyone's a mum listening, they'll know that's impossible.
Yeah.
Children always get nits.
Yeah.
But the deeper part was you should always be happy being a mum. And actually that was really hard. And I experienced postnatal depression, and the humbling of that. And actually what I realised was in that state was that I need to connect with the people who are important, who are my beautiful loved ones who can help. And I can't do this alone. And that was so important and humbling, because I was a fiercely independent woman. I still am pretty fiercely independent. And the letting go of that independence at times, and letting people in who are in my camp, who are precious, and having them to help. And so actually I went back to work full time at just after 3 months with one of my children.
Wow.
Yeah, and with the other two children, I went back within 6 months. And my partner actually, he decided to stop working full time and to take on the primary care role when they were younger.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. And for both of us, it was the letting go of what's the expectation of being a mum or a father.
Yeah.
And actually doing what worked for us and for our family. And that was the best decision we made. And so at the time, for me to go back to work was a really important decision for me and for the family. And for my partner, he would bring the kids in for breastfeeding in my lunch breaks, and you know,
That's amazing.
It was amazing, and it was a wonderful experience. So I suppose back to your question about what does it mean to be a woman, or my experiences of being a woman, is that I think we deeply, as women, we deeply know who we are within ourselves, and sometimes it takes a bit of the unlearning of what the white noise is about what we should be,
Yes.
or who we should be. And it's actually about peeling away those layers and getting back to who we really deeply are. And that's been a journey I'm going through. Yeah.
What have you learned to let go of?
I'm learning to let go of expectation.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Whose expectation?
Well, sometimes it's the white noise that I've internalized and I think it's my expectation, and then do a little bit of meditation and go, actually, maybe that's not my expectation.
Yeah.
Do I really need that fancy new black car?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, sometimes that's just me internalizing those expectations. Yeah. Does everything that I create need to be perfect? Or even work out? So letting go of that. I've been, I had a long period where I wasn't painting and started painting again in the last 18 months. And for anyone else who does creative work, it's that sense of going, it just is the experience. It will be what it will be, and that is beautiful.
Where have you surprised yourself with your own strength?
I think we've all gone through those, what they call the dark nights of the soul. And when you're going through those dark nights of the soul and you think, this has broken me, I actually just can't keep going. But what surprises me is those dark nights of the soul, you put yourself together, and once you get through them, you're even stronger. It's like the little, I can't remember I wish I could remember the name of it, but the Japanese fixing broken crockery.
Oh, kitsugi.
The kitsugi.
Is it kintsugi? It's kitsugi or kintsugi. I love it.
You love it?
With
so
the
do
gold.
I. With the gold.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'd only been exposed to it about a year ago, and that was a really great symbolism for me around that sense that you do have those moments in life. We all have them. And for me, those moments in life, they haven't broken me, they've broken me open. So that's been, you don't think it's a gift at the time, you think, why am I going through this? But actually, once I've got through them, it's the gift of being broken open. Yeah.
What kind of connection or support do you think women are missing right now?
I think I'm lucky because I get to live and work in a space with lots of women who provide amazing connection and support, both to me and reciprocated. And that community is around me. But I think for a lot of women, there's a real disconnect from that community, and there's a real isolation. So connection and support for women just in Western society overall is, I think it's clouded by capitalism and patriarchy. And I think what happens is, and I'd say this happens to men as well, and all people, but connection and support is silenced by competition and silenced by this white noise of, expecting yourself to achieve more, to do more, to earn more, to be more, when actually you were already enough. And what that does is pits people against each other, and it creates a society of disconnection, of fragility, and it brings out those toxic traits in people. And I think in a way, as a society, unfortunately, we're celebrating the wrong things.
Did anyone model for you what it means to live truthfully? Or did you have to learn that on your own?
I think everyone is trying to live truthfully for themselves. So everyone models that in their own way. it's their truth at that point in time. But there are so many amazing mentors and supports and people in my life who have helped me on my journey to find my own truth. And I know there'll be many more as well. Yeah, there's so many.
What do you wish we spoke more openly about?
Pleasure.
In what sense?
Well, I think actually that one of those challenges of society of being so focused on these externalized sense of what you need to achieve or what you need to do, actually pleasure is something we all have as a birthright. So everyone has the birthright for finding pleasure, whether that's the pleasure that I seek when I have a coffee on my back porch in the mornings, when I'm painting, or when I'm listening to someone tell me their story. Or for me, I love massages, I love touch. So I get to have pleasure in that way. And my gosh, what an amazing world if we could all talk more about pleasure.
What truth are you learning to say out loud?
The truth that people don't want to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you stay quiet about?
I'm learning to stay quiet when, if I was to speak, it would be giving away my power.
That's just stopped me in my tracks.
So actually at the moment, that's a part of my journey of being and becoming, is that there are times actually that it's really important to stay quiet.
I'm learning that too. And it takes effort.
Yes.
What do you know now that you wish you'd known earlier?
I don't know.
I don't know if there is anything I wish I'd known earlier than I knew it, because I don't know that I would have understood it.
That's right. Yeah. And I suppose it's a bit fatalistic, but you know when you need to know.
Yeah.
And sometimes not knowing is actually really important in that moment.
Yeah. Because then you can be curious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. If someone's listening who needs to hear something, anything from you, what would it be?
You are perfectly imperfect as you are. And for all of the women listening, you have a deep goddess within you. And pleasure is your birthright.
Right on. Right on. Well, my goodness. Thank you so much for being here, Amie. And all I've got left to say is bye-bye.